Hi, I'm Abe Peck, Executive Editor, not anymore actually, Editor-at-Large at Inside Unmanned Systems. And we're here with Leo McCloskey, who's the Vice President of Marketing for Echodyne, Radar Reinvented. Okay, so what's that mean?
Abe, Radar Reinvented is a reference to what we've done, which is reinvent the antenna inside the radar. And that's what we call MESA, Metamaterials Electronically Scanned Array.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we say Radar Reinvented, we really have reinvented the foundation of radar.
And say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so metamaterials is not an exotic materials, it's just a physics design approach. So very standard materials, if you put them together in a certain way, you get very counterintuitive electromagnetic properties. In our case, with no moving parts, we're able to shape and steer electromagnetic radiation across the face of the radar. But radar is just a tool. And what you're really after is the data that radar is going to get you. And so what that means from a customer perspective, MESA provides a way to get very precise data about what's moving around in the airspace, which enhances everyone's situational awareness and therefore safety.
Right, and so you really are in the awareness and safety business at the end of the day.
That is exactly right.
And now you brought your piece of equipment here? So
this is a radar. You can see how small it is. It's really quite small and very light. It's about 3.5 pounds, and it's 120 degrees in azimuth, 80 degrees in elevation, so big field of view. It'll see crewed aircraft at 2.5 to 3 kilometers, see small drones at out to a kilometer and a half, and this provides the situational awareness at a very commercial price point that helps the industry move forward and maintain safety as it matures.
And it's agnostic in terms of the vehicle, or
the vehicle doesn't really matter, and the interface to it from a data perspective is very standard, TCP/IP over gigabit Ethernet.
So that's great.
So from a customer perspective, the integration is not a real heavy lift, but it's really one sensor is never the answer anyway.
Right.
Radar has to be combined with a bunch of other things that would then feed into the autopilot or into the data stream that goes back to the remote pilot. And it's really all about making sure that whether it's the autopilot or the remote pilot, that the data is what they need to enhance safety.
Right. Now you do not only drones, you do cars also, huh?
We have done cars, and our radars are being used in a DARPA program doing off-road autonomy. The COVID experience we've all had has not been kind to the ground autonomy space, whereas the airborne space is really moving forward a lot faster. And we're also very active on the defense and government side for the counter UAS.
Oh, okay.
So really our radar is going to find anything that moves in the airspace. And if you're interested in safety and navigation, that's how you look at the data.
Yeah.
But if your perspective was something in law enforcement, when you wanted to make sure that you were keeping something safe and secure, it's the same data, just interpreted in a different way.
There's a big CUAS presence here. I think that's you're riding a good wave there, I think. And
well, there's money there now, where the U.S. industry is sort of still maturing, but really at the end of the day, Abe, I think that the counter-U.S. data and the U.S. data are exactly the same thing. It's really a question of what are we doing with the data, and so we think of this concept of an ambient sensor utility. And so you take a city like Seattle, which is close to our home, and you would instrument Seattle in a way that there were the right sensors in all the right locations. And then that would be used for commercial companies to fly, but then law enforcement can also use the same data because if you haven't registered to fly, you will stand out, and that relief map is being somebody who's not supposed to be there.
I don't know if you remember the old Mad magazine thing, Spy versus Spy.
It's very much Spy versus. I think of that all the time, Dave. I really do.
Is there anything you want to add?
Well, really, it's just about working in the industry together. I mean, there's no company that's going to solve everything. It's a very collaborative approach to how we achieve safety. We just want to be part of the conversation and part of achieving safety.
Well, super. Well, you are now on the live stream, so thanks for coming over.
Thank you, Abe. Thanks very much.
Okay.